Thank you, ma'am. All right. So the first part of the interview is to ask why you went into farming, why poultry? What was the background behind that?
Okay, basically, I think getting on in age, you know, and then with all the problem with the herdsmen and all, I and my husband resolved to eat just chicken and fish.
As a way of our silent protest.
Yeah, hey, no, for our health even.
Okay, for health.
You know,
okay, for health.
For health.
Okay.
Hey, you understand? And then I found that most of the chicken that we get from all those frozen chicken, I don't know what they were fed, how they were preserved and things like that. I've seen videos of Chinese people inflating their poultry and all that.
Yeah.
You know, and so I started mine, you know, just for my family consumption. But then my family and friends, you know,
began to
asking,
request.
Hey, you understand? You know, unfortunately, well, that's the main reason why I take to teacher.
Okay, and then it grew into a business of its own that has up to 700 birds, 750 birds right now.
Well, right now we've cut down a lot.
Okay.
Because I am trying to go into layers. I was doing broilers before, and we're harvesting them at about 6 to 8 weeks. You know, but I wanted to, and then the cost of eggs, as you know, went off the roof. So we try to. So right now, we have because we're just starting out again. I have just about 250 layers and 100 broilers for now to see how we can market that.
Yeah, before you scale upwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we're going to validate the responses you give to our survey, and perhaps to give some context. Like, for example, when we were asking the challenges that you face as a poultry farmer, you ranked financial management as a very high challenge. Which aspect of financial management, in your opinion, is a challenge to poultry farmers?
Well, getting the funds to start was not easy to start with. And then the feeds kept going higher and higher and higher. Okay, and then at the end, like I said, we had about 750 birds. Last year, we did about 1,000. And over Christmas, trying to sell them, it wasn't easy. But I think every other person now went into poultry. So at the end of the day, we had spillover into, because normally what we were doing was every week we'll buy 100 every week, so that we don't have the same age.
Yes. So it's a revolving cycle.
Yeah, you know. But by that December, we had quite a lot, and then we weren't able to sell all that because we're like projecting that by in December we would sell all the 1,000 that we had, but we weren't able to sell all. We sold at about 600, you know. And of course, because we kept buying, that was how come when I took that survey, we had about 750. You know, although none of them from last year was with those ones. So that financial
management aspect of it.
Yeah, because they were left on our hands, we still had to feed them.
Exactly.
And they weren't going to make much more money.
Yeah.
Even with all the people, you
Yeah.
understand?
No
You
matter
know,
how
one of the
much
things
weight, small weight they carry,
exactly they give,
the amount
yeah,
they would pay, they will raise in the
the
market
command
was,
wasn't that much.
yeah.
Exactly. And then because it
Yeah.
wasn't a festive period, some of the ones,
Yeah.
some of the people for about 7,000, 8,000.
Yeah.
But of course, after the festive period, those ones came down to 3,000, 3,335. So we lost quite a lot of money.
Wow. Okay. You ranked record keeping as 3. That means not so high, not so low. May I ask why?
Like I said, it's not really my business. You
Okay.
understand? It
Yeah.
was try and error.
Error.
You know. So I started last year. So I do have a bookkeeper.
Okay.
But they went as fantastic as, and because the farm is not in Lagos State, it's not like in my backyard where I can troop into anytime I want to. I have to drive all the way to the States to go and find out what is going on and all that. So even when the chicken died and things like that, the records when kept, they were saying it verbally instead of recording it. You understand? So the bookkeeping wasn't as fantastic as I would want. Now I have an accountant and all that. Everything, every grain of corn or every grain of that is brought into the place is recorded. Every chicken. So now I'm hoping that the bookkeeping will be better done than it was that last year.
I get that. Okay, and basically with this your renewed focus on bookkeeping, can I assume that you do see this as a business that can be hugely profitable if the right structure is in place?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. But after last year, I was discouraged, but I know that there's something good there, and I should persist. One of the things that we're trying to do now is to get supermarkets to stock our products. Get NAFDAC registration for our products. Because it's not only chicken that we do. We actually do smoked goat meat too.
So value addition to be able to reach the final market.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
As a value addition, adding value to the product so that you can reach the final market and cut out the middleman.
The middleman, yeah.
Okay, labor, you ranked it similarly. You said not so much of a challenge. Is it similar to the approach for record keeping as well? The fact that there is now an accountant who is keeping those records properly and so on.
Yeah, my I call them farmhand. They are quite. One of them lives quite near, so he's almost like living, at the farm. Yeah, and then my security is better than it was last year. I think we're improving, small, but slowly getting something.
Hey, research and development information, you rank it as 2, not much of a challenge.
Yeah, because I'm reading more and then getting my farm hands to read as well.
To be academic about it.
Yes, and then every hello.
Yeah, I'm with you. I can hear you.
Okay, so just like I took the survey, where I'm trying to whatever it is that I can lay my hands on. I want to do online courses, things like that that would improve not just the poultry but every other thing that I have on the farm. What the ultimate aim really is for is for, because I want to eat more healthy, and I want to give that to as many people as possible. So
exactly.
whatever, however I can improve on what I have now is what we're trying to. And so, and if the knowledge is just on me alone, without other people around me, gaining that knowledge, then for me it is useless.
It's useless.
So all of us are trying as much as possible. Whatever conference or seminar,
workshop or webinar or seminar.
Exactly. I always ask them at the office to, make sure that they should get registered.
Okay, but if the knowledge is something that you're able to get now, why is the application of the technology now ranked high? Why did you rank that as a major challenge?
Because there's no money to put everything
to apply it. Okay.
You understand?
I see. Okay, so I know what it is, but it requires resources to actually implement.
Exactly. That's just it. Because even looking at my structure over the weekend, I'm like, this place needs a new lick of paint. It needs some equipment that we don't have and all that. In fact, I'm asking around if there's any way I can get a grant as a female farmer and all that to see how to improve on what I have.
I'll make a note of that, ma'am. Put you on a list that once I get information out, because there are more funding opportunities for female entrepreneurs. So I'll try as much as possible to keep sending you the ones I have. If you had gotten because the one I could immediately have told you about is tailored more towards exports. So if you might consider,
as a matter of fact, I think, and as a matter of fact, maybe after this Zoom meeting, I would send you the products that we have that are currently under NAFDAC. We are trying to get them for certification by NAFDAC.
Okay.
They're basically dry things. Like I said, I'm trying to get as healthy as possible. Yes, I've not cooked with things like Maggi in my house for close to almost 25 years.
Wow.
So I use things like Iru, Ogili, and all that. So we're trying to see how we can have an export market, drying those things, you understand, so that people abroad too can enjoy Iru. All you have to do is hydrate it or put it in, and then it will do, bitter leaf, my own native things like Uzisa, Otasi, and things like that. So I'm actually looking for export market to face. You understand? So that I would really, in fact, I spoke to some people and they're like, what you need to do is to register, and then I'm because we just have the NAFDAC people come to visit the site about 3 weeks ago. So I'm waiting for that before I need to register and all that. So I'm really into that a lot.
Okay, so what I have done now is I've sent you the guidelines for the export expansion facility. It's supposed to be a yearly thing. If we had this conversation maybe 2-3 months ago, it's something you would have been able to apply for. But please still go through the guidelines and prepare. And the guidelines let you know. Then there are a few links I'm also going to send to you, website links that can allow you begin to target foreign markets. So once you know what Iru is, if you use the website link I've just sent to you on WhatsApp and put the name of Iru, it will tell you the countries that are the top importers of those your products. So you can begin to target those companies. Now, within Nigeria, what you need is NAFDAC, but when you're going out, then you begin to have you need to start having certifications like maybe Global Gap, Fair Trade, maybe Halal, maybe ISO 22001, depending on the country. But let's just continue the conversation. Because of where I work, I would always be able to direct the kinds of information you need to have beforehand. So that, because a lot of people is after you export and it gets to the country, they reject it. That's when they now begin to know that, oh, there's something else I should have done that I didn't do. But I've sent those two things to
Something that
you on
you need to have
WhatsApp.
done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll send it to your WhatsApp. So you just, any questions you have, you can just ask me after the call.
Okay,
Right.
thank you. I'll do that.
So, right. So that's the, no, I'm not done this one. I'm still in my interview. Wait, yes, I'm almost done. Thank you. Sorry, ma. So, my daughter, my first daughter. Yes, ma'am. So, market access, a very huge challenge. You ranked it 5. Contract sanctity and ethics, you ranked it 5. Cost and availability of inputs, you ranked it 5. Market access, I think it doesn't need explanation. You just talked about the spillover and that. Contract and ethics, are they usually issues of people not abiding by what they said they would do and things like that?
Well, maybe because of other things that, you know, a supermarket like Hubmart, for instance, you know, you have a contract with them, you give them your products, and they don't pay.
Yeah.
They are owing me since last year, I think August, no, not August, October, close 500,000. I stopped supply. I supplied them just for about 3 months. And then one and a half hour that they weren't paying. First of all, the contract says they will pay after 45 days. You know, and then your product will still won't be on the account and things like that.
Okay.
You know, they kept asking us to bring more. But yeah, you've not paid the one that, you know, we've supplied. You understand? You know,
Yeah.
as we speak now, I'm trying to get a lawyer to see whether I can recover my money from them. So those are kind of things that
lead to that contract.
I find quite distasteful.
The major, and they weren't paying and they kept collecting.
Yeah.
Kept collecting. Cost of production inputs very high, but the availability not so much of a challenge.
No.
Biosecurity, is mortality an issue?
Yeah, well, maybe because I had very good vet doctors, you know, and then where I bought the where I buy the day old chicks, I anything at all, you know, if I come and I see that maybe 1 or 2 chicks are down, what we do is I isolate them, you know, and then treat them in that isolation. You know, so I really didn't
so
have
that it doesn't spread.
much
Okay.
Yes, I didn't have much, and then I have a large compound, so it wasn't I wasn't constrained for space. Anyone I thought that and even the ones that are sick are not kept in the same place. We keep them separately. It's like inside
quarantine.
the exactly, so that because they may have different things affecting them. You know, one will not have cross infection between.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean, man. Okay, so having validated those, validated those challenges, and I guess most of them are challenges to small scale farmers. The proposed solution that we're trying to validate is one where, imagine that there's an enterprise management software, and I'm going to quickly share my screen now to basically try and explain it. An enterprise management software that imagine an app on your phone that let's say it has the same features as WhatsApp. When I say features as WhatsApp, you don't need internet to actually enter information. But when the internet does come, the information now gets transmitted. So your farmhands or your accountant is using that enterprise management solution to keep records. And you in Lagos, you are able to, at the click of a button, see what is going on, right, at the farm.
Okay, yeah.
Also, that enterprise management solution, because there are many farmers on it, right? So let's assume that eventually we have 100 farmers all using the software. That means we know when their broilers will mature. We know how many eggs that they have, meaning we can, on their behalf, begin to start negotiating with hotels and restaurants and eateries who will help them, who will buy their products, helping with the market access problem. With the cost and availability of inputs, once again, because we have so many farmers using the app, we can go to the feed producers and say, look, instead of you struggling to be selling your feed one bag at a time, this is 1,000 farmers, right? Just give them a discount of 2% and we can make sure that they buy just your own feed and they don't go to your competition. And then, the kind of service of us conveniently delivering those inputs to you is also something that the app is supposed to do. So if you can see your screen, you see the solution that we are suggesting to address the issue of information, address the issue of, we call it best farm practices, right? And also to address the issue of input sourcing, which is what increases your costs, and market access, which affects your revenue, but also increases your cost, because when people don't buy your product on time, you continue feeding the product. So my question is, do you think this kind of solution would address these challenges that we have just discussed?
Yeah, provide information, standard operation procedures, input sourcing, market access. Yes, it definitely would. But I can't see. Okay, the revenue now.
Yes.
Is there any, because like I said, part of my challenge is is the funding. Is that part of the revenue or what?
No, so the revenue part is linked to the market access part. So basically, you have in the next 4 weeks, that you're going to have, in the next week, that you're going to have 100 chickens of 4 kilograms weight, right? Yeah. Because you're using the app, we know that these chickens will be available in 1 week. So we can negotiate with off-takers who can do what we call forward transactions. So what we mean is that I want to give you the money today for chickens that will be available next week, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because you're following the standard operating procedures, which is best practices, mortality won't be that much of a problem because, based on research, based on all that, farmhands are following the practices they are supposed to follow. What you've described is more of capital. And the last person I interviewed also raised that issue, that can your solution also help with capital? Although it's not something we were thinking of, I'm going to go back to my team and we will discuss it, because there is now this, I don't know if you know of farm crowding.
No.
Okay, so what farm crowding?
Where people pay for maybe let's say poultry at this thing, and then in 6 weeks time
exactly. Okay. So crowdfunding, right? And so it wasn't an area we were looking into, because it was like, there's already a company that is doing that, right? However,
Okay.
it's something that seems to keep coming up among the people I interview that, okay, how about capital? So we would consider that, because what that means is that people, instead of the bank, you go to the bank to get loan at 22% interest rates. People every day, people can give 1,000, 1,000 to make the millions, and they are collecting maybe 5%, 7% interest rate after 6 to 9 weeks when you're right. And then since the software is also helping with market access, it's like an end-to-end thing. We are selling the thing so that we can pay back the capital. But like I said, I'll discuss with the rest of the team. Okay, man. Now that we know that this, and let me just quickly show you, because we're currently working on it, just to show you what it looks like. Sorry, give me a second. We're currently working on what we call a prototype, a minimum viable product, just to first of all test it out to be sure that it works, right? And this is what it looks like, right? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can.
Right. So by the time we're done with the prototype, people will be able to log in and just to again show you what imagine that you log in on your phone, right? Or on the web. Sorry, it's not really logged in yet. Okay. So imagine you're logged in on the phone or on the web, and you can immediately just have a dashboard like this. Oh, how many orders, how many customers, what is the sales, what is your cost in terms of feed production. So it's going to be looking something like this both on your phone and on your computer. Based on your own farm that you set up. Now, even if you now expand to various locations, yes, you'll be able to track all of them. My farm in Ogun, my farm in Lekki, my farm in Maryland, and so that's the idea behind the enterprise management software. My final question, man. If this solution was offered to you, but you have to pay 2,500 naira, 2,500 naira every month, is it something that you would be willing to pay for?
Well, I'll be willing to pay if I know that for sure I'm going to, like I told you, I had problem with selling off the chicks last year, and when I take out of my profits. Now a month is 4 weeks, and I'm selling at 6 weeks. You understand? So if I can, it to be part of the cost of the thing, but I have other apps that I use.
Okay.
A month is 1,450.
Okay.
And then as you increase the
number of
duration,
birds.
let's say,
okay.
Now that 1,450 is for me alone using it. If right now, it is I and my manager that are using the app.
Okay.
You understand? So I'm paying for 2 persons, and I can't remember what that is. But then the month, there's 3 months, there's months, 9 months, and a year. So if I'm paying if I paid for 6 months, because I was paying one month because I wasn't sure of what it was all about. When I found out that it was okay, I now went up to 3 months, but now I'm paying 6 months. That'll be 6 monthly.
Okay.
And then as the duration increases, their rates are lowered. You understand? Okay. So I think that's something that you should look at too. I'll definitely be interested in that. I think 2,500 a month, may be a bit steep.
Okay, regardless of how many users.
Sorry?
As in, regardless of how many users.
I didn't hear that.
Regardless of how many users. You know, the one you've described. Yeah.
Was user charge and number of this and all that.
Yes.
Is something that I can pay for. But you see, the thing about life that okay, now I think for this one, then I'm paying DSTV, I'm paying NEPA, I'm paying this, I'm paying that.
Okay, just to share something with you. Let me again quickly share the screen. But again, I will put it basically. What I think I'm hearing is that the existing one you're using helps with farm records, but doesn't help with access to markets. Therefore, if you're going to consider this one, then access to market is going to be the game changer. If I get you correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to quickly explain, so to download the app is free. That's to get the information is free. To use the best practices and the one for monitoring, which is what you're currently paying 1,450 for, is the one we are offering at 2,005. However, you don't need to subscribe in order to get access to markets. The only thing is that for those who are subscribed, they get discounted prices for other things that we do. But if you're not subscribed, then, so imagine a situation where we will sell your product, but because we are not subscribed, we will take a higher service charge. But if you are subscribed, then we'll take next to nothing because you're subscribed. But I will take this into consideration. If you don't mind, if I could know the name of this competition so that we could just see what other service offering we could provide.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Okay, so but again, just to be correct, for the one you're currently using, if you're paying for 2 people, you would need to pay 1,450 times 2.
No.
No, okay.
It's about, I think, that 116 people thereabout. It's not.
Okay,
it's not that much.
Okay, from the first 6 people, it's the same price, 1,450.
Sorry?
Okay. As in, I get it now. As in, for the first 6 people that use the app, you pay 1,450.
Yeah.
If it goes higher than that, then you have to pay more.
Yeah, adding more.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, man. So is there anything else that, I mean, you think we should add, or so far so good? Do you think we're on the right track, and can we keep you in?
No, please keep me in this. There was a what they call it, how I say it now, a platform where I was asked to judge for who would get some grants. You know, it was an African thing, and we had some people with new initiatives and new ideas. And we had a guy from Ghana, and then 2 people from Nigeria. We're talking about the same thing, or the same, well, not the same thing, but similar things, having creating access to veterinary doctors for these ones were cows, really. One was from Kogi State. I can't remember where, that far or something. I can't remember where the second, but I know that the Kogi State man was the person that actually got the grant, because he was trying to get an app where every farmer can get in touch with things like the vets, and then so that the vets can teach, because apparently they were selling cows that died without knowing why the cow died. They don't bury the cow as they were meant to do, and things like that, So now, like I said before, I had very good vet doctor, and then where I buy my chicks from. were quite helpful. But I just wondered if I didn't come across those people, I probably would have found it very, very difficult, getting to know what vaccines to give, what drugs to give. I don't know them personally, but at least I know that the farmhand, because they come almost every other week to see what we're doing, like that, So maybe that's true. You guys can think of, helping the new startups, with those kind of knowledge.
True. We'll factor that in as well, because actually the whole idea is based on some record keeping and some modeling we did over a period of 18 months, capturing data on Excel, finding the right feed mix, finding the right medication mix. And I mean, I'm sure you'll be hearing terms like machine learning and artificial intelligence, all those buzzwords keep flying around. But what we're trying to establish at the end of the day is, if you have a pool of data of numerous poultry farmers, you would begin to consistently do data analysis to figure out things like what's the relationship between this feed mix and the weight of the chicken, what's the relationship of of lighting and things like that. In our own case, using just that small sample size of one farm, 200 birds, we were discovering interesting things like the appropriate number of chickens per floor space that you should have. Too many chickens, they start climbing over each other, mortality rises. Too few chickens, they run up and down, they don't, they don't weigh much. So that's the end goal. And yes, medication, we didn't take it to the point of view of ancillary services like a vet coming. But yes, medication is there. Essentially, what we're trying to do is just build an ecosystem around the farmer where what you need is at your fingertips. You don't need to overstretch, and you can focus on production knowing that the market is more or less certain. Because I can show you the statistics. In 2019, the whole of Nigeria consumed 890 billion naira worth of poultry and poultry products. Yet, we still can't meet the demand. According to another statistics, they say that the supply of poultry is 140 million birds. No, yes, the supply is 140 million birds, but the demand is 160 million birds. So there's a shortfall of 20 million, right? Despite the fact that it's a profitable thing, small-scale poultry farmers are still struggling. So that's the essence behind the whole idea.
Okay.
I'll definitely keep you in the loop, man. I'll definitely keep you in the loop.
Okay, thank you. So can one subscribe to you now, or you are still the thing is still in the works?
So we're still in the works, and what I can assure you of is for people who have been very gracious to participate in our surveys, be interviewed, will definitely be among what we call our early adopters. So they are likely to be the ones who get to use the application for free and give us feedback and grow with us, and perhaps we'll use it for free for life. Because that's how Google does too. When they bring up a new product, they have early adopters who are the first to make use of it, and that just goes. But I definitely will not tell you that at first, because I also need to validate our pricing model. Does our pricing model make sense to small-scale poultry farmers? And the feedback is awesome in that, yes, we do have competition, but if there is this additional edge that we can add to it, then our pricing isn't that bad.
Definitely good, yeah.
Okay, man. Thank you so much, man. Please, man, if you could send me the name of the app you currently use on WhatsApp, I'll be very grateful. And then if you go through those links I sent and the guides, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I will there's a lot of that information I have available that I would always be able to share.
Okay. Okay then. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for the time. Sorry for keeping you up so late.
No.
Right.
Take care then. Good night.
All right. Good night.
I regards to your family.
I'll
Bye.
extend it.